Hey everybody, Jamie Griffin here. I'm here to talk to you today about the Debt Snowball Method and why it works to pay off a ton of debt and a lot faster than you do in any normal other method. We used it to pay off $100,000 of debt in just 5 years, and I'm really confident that it'll work for you as well. Today's video is all about showing how it works and most importantly, why it works to pay off a lot of debt. So get ready to learn how to pay off a lot of debt using the Debt Snowball Method today. Okay, first off, we want to start with what is the Debt Snowball Method. If you've heard of Dave Ramsey, read any of his books, or been on his blog at all, you've probably heard of the Debt Snowball Method. It was made popular by him to the point where anytime I hear of Debt Snowball, I usually think of Dave Ramsey, and I also think of spreadsheets because I love spreadsheets, and that's one of the best ways you can really track your debt payments, and the Debt Snowball Method uses a spreadsheet to help you do that. So in order to get started, you just need a couple things. First off, you need all of your student loan totals, how much you owe on each one, and you need your interest rate. So those are two things you need to get started, and you're really ready to go. So this involves using a spreadsheet, and today's video isn't about how to actually set up your spreadsheet. I've got some cool tools to do that. A Debt Snowball spreadsheet, I'll put the link down in the description so you can grab that if you want to do it. It's got perfect instructions to get you set up. It's pretty easy to do, and if you have all of your information ready and set, you can probably get it set up in 30 minutes or less. So that'll be a link down in the description. But today is just explaining what it is and why it's going to work. So first off, you want to get all your debts organized and lined up in one place. And once you do that, you want to line them up from the lowest amount to the highest amount. We're not going to worry about interest rates and putting them in order by interest rates. I know in the long run, depending on your situation, you could probably save more money in interest if you pay the highest interest rate first, but that's not what the Debt Snowball Method focuses on. It focuses on paying off the smallest debt first. So we're going to start with the smallest debt and order them up to the largest debt. Once you have that set up, you're basically started. So here's the basic structure of how it works. You've got your debts lined up, smallest to greatest, you've got your interest rates, and then you need to know your minimum payment for each one of those, which at this point I'm guessing you already know that because you're paying it off every month anyway. So once you get it set up, the smallest payment, you're going to pay your minimum balance on every single debt you have except for the smallest one. The smallest one is one we're going to attack really aggressively with every extra dollar that you can spare towards it. So if your normal minimum payment on your smallest loan is $100, if you can spare an extra $100 in your budget, maybe stop going out to eat a couple times, meal prep at home, instead of buying an extra set of clothes, hold off till next month, whatever you can do to make some extra money and apply it towards that smallest loan. So instead of just paying $50 a month, now you're paying $150 a month, and you're doing that every month until you pay that small loan off. So once that small loan is paid off, first off, take a moment to celebrate because that's awesome. Anytime you can pay off a loan, I think you should celebrate it because that's one debt you'll never have to pay back again. So first celebrate, and then once you've done that, the next month, you're going to take whatever you're paying on that smallest loan and roll it over into your next loan. So if you're paying $150 on your smallest loan, you're going to take that payment and roll it to your next payment. So your next smallest loan, so instead of just the minimum payment on it, we'll say is $100, you're paying $250 on it now instead of $100. So you're accelerating that payment on your next smallest loan until that one is paid off. Again, you're putting every extra dollar you can towards it, and then once it's paid off, the snowball effect is going to take place again, and you're going to roll it into your next loan. So if your next loan's minimum balance is also $100, now instead of $100, you're paying $100 plus the minimum balances of your other two loans, which is $250. Now you're paying $350 a month towards your third loan or your third debt. So you can see that acceleration really speeds up the repayment process. And then you can do any other things like using a tax return, using an extra paycheck month. If you get a bonus at work, all of those things can go towards your loan repayments so that it goes even faster than it was going to if you're just making the minimum payments. So that's the basic structure, and you can continue that process until all of your loans are paid off and you're debt free. So for us, we're sitting at $100,000 of debt. We're both teachers, so we don't make a lot of money, and we set up this Debt Snowball spreadsheet and we got to work. It took us, I think, 4 months to pay off our first loan, which was about $1,200. We used an extra paycheck month. We sold things that we didn't need. We took up extra coaching jobs, working at the school. We got side jobs, working part-time on the weekends. So we wanted our debt gone fast, and we did what we needed to do to make that happen. And so we follow this step process, and we're able to pay off $100,000 of debt in 5 years using the Debt Snowball Method. So there are 4 main reasons that the Debt Snowball Method works to pay off your debt fast. The first reason is momentum. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill, and I think this is where the Debt Snowball Method gets its name from. At the top of the hill, the snowball probably starts pretty small, but as it rolls down the side of the hill, it builds up steam and speed, and the snow gathers and it gets bigger and bigger, and eventually it's got so much momentum that nothing can really stop it until it gets to the bottom. That's kind of the point of the Debt Snowball Method. When you're sitting with a bunch of debt, it can feel really crushing, really debilitating, and like you don't really have any hope or way out of that. That's why I love the Debt Snowball Method. It focuses on that smallest loan first so you can get a quick win. Once you do that, you start applying those minimum payments to your next smallest loan, and it's going to build momentum. You're going to start paying things off faster than you could before because you're rolling those payments in. And the good thing is that you've already had those in your budget, and so you've already been paying on them for months and months, so it's not like you're taking away from your budget or hurting your budget in any other way. The money is already set up to be applied to your loans. You're just applying it in a really systematic, strategic way to help you pay off your loans faster. So the first reason it works is because of the momentum. The next reason is psychology. If we all worked on logic and not emotion, everybody would be debt-free. No one would really need a budget. But the biggest reason that the Debt Snowball Method works is because paying off that smallest loan right away gives you a quick win. And it builds on that psychology of, I can do this, I've made success, holy cow, I think this can work for me. It builds confidence, it builds belief in yourself and belief in the system, and the more wins you can get and the earlier on you get those wins, the more confident you're going to be and the more likely you're going to be to keep doing this until you are actually debt-free instead of getting sidetracked or distracted by something else. So that psychology is really, really important to the Debt Snowball Method and getting those quick wins in the first few months, and especially the first year, getting a couple wins. I think we paid off 2 of our loans, which totaled about $8,500 in the first year of our Debt Snowball Method, because we had that momentum working for us and then the psychology of believing that we could do it. And I also think, I already mentioned that you should celebrate. After we paid off a loan, we went and bought a bottle of cheap champagne. I think it maybe cost $10, and we celebrated. We danced around our kitchen when we hit that submit button because it was important to us. It was a huge deal, and when you're paying off debt, you should make it a big deal once you start to make some progress and build some momentum. So get those quick wins, help that psychology work to your favor, and it's going to give you more belief and confidence that you can actually do this and you can actually be debt-free instead of being trapped by debt for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, moving on to reason number 3. It is kind of tied in with psychology a little bit, but the Debt Snowball Method works because it focuses on behavior rather than logic and math. Again, if we all relied on logic and math to make our decisions, we probably wouldn't have gotten into debt in the first place. We'd all be living on a budget, and this wouldn't be a video that anyone would watch because we wouldn't have debt. But we're kind of beings of emotion, and paying off debt, like I said, it wears on you, it defeats you. And so when you can start getting your emotions involved and start believing in yourself, it's going to work for you. So what I want you to do is take a moment to answer this question or these questions. When you think about money, when you think about debt, what are some emotions that you feel? And I'll give you a minute to actually think about it. For me, when I first started doing this, I felt anxious. I didn't know what to do. Like, I felt confusion, I felt doubt. If you're feeling that about money, like, first off, that's okay. But second off, the Debt Snowball Method can really help with that because it gives you a plan. The biggest reason that I think that we struggle with debt and paying it off is because we don't have a plan to do that, and the Debt Snowball Method gives you that. So when we can get our emotions involved, especially good emotions of belief and hope, then our Debt Snowball Method is actually going to work even better. We're going to pay off our debt faster than if we're just relying on logic. And those emotions are stronger than the doubt and the hopelessness that you might feel if you are really struggling and don't have a plan to pay off your debt. So again, stick with the Debt Snowball Method, get those couple quick wins, build that momentum, and your emotions are going to start to take over. And the cool thing about that is you're going to find a lot of creative ways to save money, to not spend money, to make more money, because you're so invested in this system now that you want it to work. You know it can work, and you're going to do everything you can to make it work. The fourth reason that the Debt Snowball Method works really well is that it's organized. when you're organized with your money, you have a plan, you have a system, you're going to be more successful with it. And the Debt Snowball Method, like I said, it creates a spreadsheet, and all of your debts are in one place on this one spreadsheet. Not only are they in one spot, but you've got your interest rates, you've got your total balance, you've got your minimum payments due, you've got how much you're paying on it if you're paying extra. That's all in one spot that you can locate and track really easily. So not only that, but it also gives you an endpoint. Like, I love the Debt Snowball Method because it gives you an endpoint of a goal of, if we follow this plan, we'll be debt-free on this date or on this month of this year. A few years ago, I helped a friend set up a Debt Snowball spreadsheet for their family, looking at their credit card debt, student loan debt, even their mortgage payment. And by following the Debt Snowball Method with the finances and budget that they had, they're able to look at an end goal of having all that debt gone, including their mortgage, in 7 years. 7 years and everything would be gone, compared to a 30-year mortgage that they had set up, plus their credit card, plus their student loans. All of it could be gone in 7 years. Like, that's the power of the Debt Snowball spreadsheet. It organizes it, gives you belief, and builds that momentum that you can pay off a crazy amount of debt super fast. So to wrap up, the Debt Snowball spreadsheet, I think, is one of the best ways to pay off debt, and it works because we did it. We paid off $100,000 of debt in just 5 years as 2 teachers, and if we can do it, I think anybody can do this. So get it organized, download that Debt Snowball spreadsheet in the links in the description. Get that, and if you need any help setting that up, send me a direct message. I'd love to help you with it. Hit comment below if that's something that you're looking for, you need help with this. Just comment Debt Snowball spreadsheet, and we'll get you hooked up with that so you can get rolling. So again, just to recap, the Debt Snowball spreadsheet works because it relies on momentum. It relies on psychology and getting positive emotions really involved in the process. It focuses on behavior. You're actually changing your behavior of saving money, spending less, finding creative ways to make money. And it doesn't focus on the math and logic. And then fourth, it works because it relies on organization. It keeps all of your debts organized in one place and helps you make an actual plan for paying off your debt as fast as possible, possibly as early as 5 years, as early as 7 years, depending on how you get that set up and what you're able to afford to pay extra. So I hope this video is helpful. Please hit like on the little thumbs up thing. Hit subscribe, and remember to hit that little bell there so that you get notified every time I post a new video, and you get more tips on how to save money, budget, and get yourself out of debt as well. So thanks for tuning in today, and remember, hit that subscribe button.